Welcome to Science Exposed,
Yeah.
the show that takes your scientific curiosities and dives deep into the research brought to you
Of course.
by the brilliant Dr. Cameron Jones,
He handpicks every topic
who handpicks every single topic we cover.
we cover.
And speaking of fascinating topics,
This deep dive.
this deep dive is all about
It's all about a molecule.
a molecule
You specifically wanted us to unpack
that you specifically wanted us to unpack.
resveratrol
I'm talking about resveratrol
and its potential,
and its potential role in the fight against non-melanoma skin cancer,
or NMSC for
or
sure.
NMSC.
Yeah,
You sent in a pretty comprehensive scientific review on this.
you did.
So clearly you're eager to learn more.
Absolutely.
And trust me,
Huh?
after going through this research,
Mhm.
I get why.
It's a good one.
Resveratrol is turning out to be a pretty intriguing molecule.
He really is.
Before we dive into the specifics,
Okay.
let's quickly set the stage. NMSC is actually the most common type of skin cancer worldwide,
Millions of cases.
with millions of cases diagnosed each year.
Every year.
It might not be as aggressive as melanoma,
Right.
but it still has a huge impact on individuals and families.
Huge impact.
Okay, millions of cases.
Yeah,
That's a stat that really makes you stop and think.
absolutely.
And honestly, it makes this research even more important.
Yeah.
If we can find effective treatments,
Especially
ones derived from natural source.
a natural source.
That could be a game changer.
Absolutely a game changer.
Yeah, you've probably heard of resveratrol before.
Yeah, you probably have.
It's often touted as one of the beneficial compounds in red wine.
It is.
Ah, yes, the
Okay.
famous red wine antioxidant.
There you go.
I'm all ears.
Okay.
But how does it actually work against skin cancer?
Well,
Like, what's the mechanism?
one of the key things to understand about resveratrol
Yeah.
is that it's a multifaceted attacker.
Okay.
It tackles cancer from multiple angles, using a combination of superpowers
Right.
that scientists are still unraveling.
Multiple superpowers.
Yeah,
Okay, this is already sounding way more exciting than your average biochemistry lesson.
it is really fascinating.
Right.
So one of resveratrol's main weapons is its ability to induce apoptosis.
Apoptosis, no, remind me.
Basically programmed cell death.
Okay.
It's like the cells get a signal to self-destruct.
Right.
And you want that to happen
Yes.
when it comes to cancer cells.
So resveratrol is basically the hitman.
Yes.
Taking out those rogue cancer cells before they can cause more trouble.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's a fascinating study from 2005 by Aziz and colleagues
Okay.
that found resveratrol actually amplified apoptosis in UV-induced skin tumors
Wow.
by a significant margin.
Interesting.
They think it does this by messing with a protein called survivin,
Survivin.
which normally protects cancer cells
So it stops them from being destroyed.
from being destroyed. Yes.
Wow. So it's not just triggering apoptosis. It's also disabling the cancer cell's defense mechanisms against it.
It's a two-pronged attack.
Pretty sneaky.
Very sneaky.
But wait, there's more.
There is always more with resveratrol.
Oh, this is good.
Resveratrol is also a powerful anti-inflammatory agent, and that's crucial.
Right.
Because we know that chronic inflammation can actually create an environment where cancer cells thrive.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's like inflammation is the fertilizer,
Mm-hmm.
and resveratrol is pulling out the weeds before they can take root.
That's a great analogy.
I like that one.
Now, remember those free radicals everyone's always talking about?
Yeah.
Well, they're not just bad for your wrinkles.
Oh,
They also contribute to both DNA damage,
which can lead to cancer.
which can lead to cancer and inflammation.
Of course.
And guess what?
Why?
Resveratrol is a potent antioxidant,
Okay.
meaning it neutralizes those free radicals.
Hold on. Let me get this
Yeah.
straight.
Okay.
Resveratrol is like a triple threat.
I know, right?
It triggers cancer cell death,
Yes.
it fights inflammation,
Uh-huh.
and it neutralizes free radicals.
It does it all.
Is there anything this molecule can't do?
Well, there is one challenge.
Uh-oh. What's the...
Even though resveratrol is found in foods like grapes and berries,
Okay.
it's not easily absorbed by the body
Oh.
and doesn't dissolve well in water.
So even if we're diligently eating our grapes and sipping our red wine,
Yeah,
our bodies might not be getting enough of the good stuff.
that's right. Okay.
But don't despair.
I'm listening.
Scientists are a clever bunch,
I have faith in them.
and they've turned to nanotechnology to overcome this obstacle.
Nanotechnology, huh?
Yeah,
Now things are getting really futuristic.
a little bit.
Tell me more.
Think of it like this.
Okay.
Scientists are creating tiny delivery systems,
Mm-hmm.
almost like little capsules
Okay.
that can encapsulate resveratrol,
Right.
protect it from degrading,
Smart.
and deliver it directly to those cancer cells.
So we're basically giving resveratrol a high-tech upgrade. But are these nanotech approaches really working?
The research is very promising.
Honestly.
Early studies using these targeted delivery systems
Right.
have shown a huge improvement in resveratrol's ability to get where it needs to go, do its job.
This is all sounding very hopeful,
Yeah.
but I'm guessing there are still some hurdles to overcome
Of course.
before resveratrol becomes a mainstream treatment.
You're absolutely right.
All right.
While the lab results are exciting,
Yeah.
most of this research has been done on isolated cells or in animal models.
Right.
We still need more clinical trials
Okay,
to
right.
confirm that it's safe and effective for humans.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
So while we shouldn't go overboard on the red wine just yet,
probably not.
it's definitely fascinating to see scientists exploring the potential of natural compounds like resveratrol in the fight against cancer.
Absolutely. It's a really exciting research.
And speaking of exploring, let's dig into some of the specific studies that highlight just how multifaceted resveratrol's attack on NMSC really is.
Okay.
There are some really fascinating details we can unpack.
I'm ready.
But first, a quick reminder to our listeners to like, share, and subscribe to Science Exposed if you're enjoying this deep dive.
Please do.
And be sure to check out the show notes for links to all the research we're discussing and other ways to connect with us.
Lots of great stuff down there. All right, let's break down some of resveratrol's amazing abilities.
Okay.
Remember how we talked about it being a powerful anti-inflammatory agent?
Oh, yeah, it's like a peacemaker,
Yeah.
calming down those inflammatory signals, right?
Exactly. Well, there are these little messengers in our bodies called cytokines.
Cytokines.
Some of them, like TNF-alpha and IL-6, actually promote inflammation.
So they're like the town criers
Uh-huh.
spreading the news that something's wrong and we need to react.
Yeah.
But sometimes they overreact.
Perfect analogy. And resveratrol can actually intercept those messages. It regulates the levels of these pro-inflammatory cytokines.
Okay.
So the response is more balanced.
That's pretty amazing. But why is this so important for skin cancer specifically?
Well, think about what triggers inflammation in the skin: sunburns.
Oh, of course.
UV radiation from the sun is a major culprit.
Right.
And we know that repeated sunburns can significantly increase the risk of skin cancer.
Right. So resveratrol is not only fighting the cancer itself,
Yeah.
but also addressing one of the root causes,
Exactly.
inflammation caused by sun damage.
Precisely. And let's not forget resveratrol's antioxidant power.
Right.
UV radiation creates those harmful free radicals,
Yeah.
which contribute to both DNA damage and inflammation.
Yeah.
Resveratrol steps in and neutralizes them, protecting our cells.
It's like a triple threat fighting on all fronts.
It really is.
This is making me rethink my entire skincare routine.
Now, there's a study I want to highlight from 2021 by Iqbal and colleagues.
All right.
They used a special lipid nanosystem to deliver a combination of resveratrol and 5-FU,
5FU.
a common chemotherapy drug.
Ah, yes, the dynamic duo.
They're quite the pair.
What did they find?
This study focused on oxidative stress,
Oxidative stress.
which is basically an imbalance between free radicals and antioxidants.
Okay.
Too many free radicals, not enough antioxidants,
Ah.
and you've got a recipe for cell damage and potentially cancer.
So it's like a seesaw.
Yeah,
And you want those antioxidants to be heavier
Right.
so they can keep things balanced.
exactly. What's exciting is that this resveratrol 5-FU combo was incredibly effective at regulating oxidative stress.
Interesting.
The study specifically mentioned how resveratrol boosted the activity of important antioxidant enzymes
Oh,
like SOD-CAT and GSH.
okay. I'm going to need a little refresher on those.
Sure.
They're all antioxidants, but what do they do specifically?
Think of them as your body's natural defense squad against free radicals.
Okay, love it.
SOD is the first line of defense, neutralizing the most reactive free radicals.
Oh.
Then CCAT comes in and cleans up the mess,
Right.
breaking down harmful byproducts.
I see.
And finally, you have GSH, which is like the team captain,
Yay.
making sure everyone is fueled up and ready to fight.
So resveratrol is like a personal trainer
Yes.
for our antioxidant defense system,
Yeah.
making them stronger and more effective.
Exactly. It's a remarkable compound.
It really is.
But we're not done yet.
Oh, there's more.
There's another study I want to tell you about.
I'm all ears. The more we learn about resveratrol, the more fascinating it becomes.
This one is from 2020
Okay.
by Zhang and Najafi,
Zhang and Najafi.
and it focuses on a specific type of NMSC
Okay.
called squamous cell carcinoma, or SCC.
Squamous cell carcinoma.
They discovered a really interesting connection
Right.
with something called microRNA.
MicroRNA.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with DNA and RNA,
Mhm.
but what exactly are those?
Imagine them like tiny dimmer switches for your genes.
Okay.
They can fine-tune which genes are turned on or off, which
Okay.
influences a whole bunch of cellular processes.
So they're like the control panel for our cells.
That's a great way to think about it.
I like it.
And what Zhang and Najafi found
Mhm.
was that resveratrol can actually increase the expression of a specific microRNA
Okay.
called miR-126.
miR-126. Interesting.
Yeah.
But what does that actually do in the context of cancer?
Right. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah.
In this case, it seems to be a very good thing.
Okay, good.
They found that higher levels of miR-126 were linked to a decrease
Okay.
in the proliferation movement and invasiveness of SCC cells.
So it's like resveratrol is using this microRNA to put the brakes on the cancer cell's ability to grow and spread.
Precisely.
Wow, I like how resveratrol thinks ahead.
Right.
So strategic.
And they even figured out how it works.
Oh, tell me.
Turns out miR-126 inhibits a signaling pathway
Okay.
called wantakatin,
Went to Kathleen.
which is known to be a major player in cancer development.
So it's not just directly attacking the cancer cells. It's also manipulating these complex signaling pathways
Yes.
to disrupt the cancer's entire operation.
It's very clever.
It's like a master strategist.
It is.
I'm really impressed with resveratrol.
As you should be.
This is amazing.
But there's even more.
Oh, there's more.
Another study, this one from 2013,
Yeah.
by Howe and colleagues,
Howe and colleagues.
took things a step further.
Okay.
They looked at resveratrol's impact on human skin SCC cells,
Okay.
both in the lab and in a mouse model.
So they're bridging the gap between basic research and potential real-world applications.
Exactly.
Very cool.
And their findings were really encouraging.
Okay, what did they find?
Resveratrol significantly inhibited the growth of those SCC tumors,
Wow.
both in the lab and in the mice.
That's fantastic.
That is.
Did they notice anything else going on at the cellular level?
Yes. Remember that protein survivin?
Survive. Yeah, the one that protects cancer cells from apoptosis.
Exactly. Well, they observed a decrease in its expression,
So even less survival.
less survivin, and they saw an increase in the levels of P53.
Wait, P53?
Yeah,
Isn't that a really important gene?
it is very important.
Something about being the guardian of the genome.
That's the one. It's a tumor suppressor gene
Okay.
that plays a critical role in regulating the cell cycle.
So if it detects DNA damage, it can trigger apoptosis.
Exactly.
So it's like the quality control manager of the cell
Yeah,
hitting the self-destruct button if things go wrong.
exactly.
I see. So the fact that resveratrol increases P53 levels
Yes.
suggests it's actually enhancing the body's natural anti-cancer mechanisms.
That's right. It's working with the body's own defenses.
This is all really impressive.
It is.
Resveratrol is sounding more and more like a superhero molecule
It kind of is.
with all these amazing abilities.
It's definitely a fascinating compound
Yeah.
with a lot of potential.
Absolutely.
But it's important to remember that more research is needed,
Oh, of course.
especially in humans,
Right.
before we start calling it a miracle cure.
I agree, but the research so far is definitely promising.
Very promising.
It's really exciting to see scientists exploring the power of natural compounds like resveratrol in the fight against cancer.
Absolutely. It opens up a whole new avenue for treatment options,
Yeah.
potentially with fewer side effects than traditional therapies.
Well, I think we've successfully unpacked the science behind resveratrol and its potential role in treating NMSC.
I think so too.
What a journey.
It's been a fascinating deep dive.
It really has.
And hopefully you, our listener,
Yes, look.
feel more informed and empowered to explore this topic further.
And speaking of exploring further,
Yes,
we've got tons of resources for you in the show notes,
we do.
including links to all the studies we discussed.
All the studies.
And if you enjoyed this episode,
We hope you did.
don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Science Exposed
Yeah, please.
for more fascinating explorations of the scientific world.
We'll have more deep dives for you soon.
Until next time, keep that scientific curiosity burning bright.
Stay curious.